I'd like to answer the question of why is God invisible? Why doesn't he show himself so we'll know, that he's what he's like, and then we'll be convinced what to do, etc. Why does he remain invisible? So the first answer is simply because visible is something that's physical. And God's not physical. I mean, just the science of it. God made the physical universe. That's what we mean by when we say God, the creator of the universe. If you create something physical, then it means you exist before that thing came into being. So the whole physical universe is a product of you. Then you yourself are not physical. You're something else. Whatever that is very hard. I can't even say that God is spiritual because I think he made that spiritual world too. We'll get to that a little later. But he's definitely not physical. So that's a simple answer. You can't see him. But then you could ask, why doesn't he create an experience for us to, experience him? Which he has done. There's, lots of stories of prophets, Jewish prophets, even non-Jewish prophets. There's, every religion, there's a holy man, or Jesus Christ, or Muhammad, or in the Hindu religion, or Buddha. Everybody has this element of a holy man, Moshe by us, among the primary, but many others. So why doesn't God do that again? And the answer is because that's not his game. He doesn't want to reveal himself to us, because the whole idea is for us to make choices. And if he would reveal himself to us, then we would have no choice. You see reality. If I show you a big pothole that's going to crash your car, then you don't have much choice to drive into it or stop, unless you're crazy. So the point is to make a reasonable choice. But then how come God did reveal himself, or did give an experience of himself to these other people? And the answer is because they already climbed to this certain level of knowledge of God through their own devices, through their own intelligence. And it didn't take away from their free choice when they had that experience of God. Once they had an intimacy with God through their own devices, then God could come and give them some deeper insights with which they could go and lead other people, and then the other people would choose to follow them. So here's an important point. God doesn't give this experience to just anybody, because what would be the point? If he would give everybody the experience, he would take away everybody's free choice. The point is to take someone who has already chosen the right path and is already wise enough to understand God and God's reality, and then give him a deeper insight, and that person will now be able to go and influence others, and the others will follow him or respond to him, because they'll know that this man has prepared himself, that he's wise, that he's disciplined, that he's holy, and so now when he comes and teaches us something, so we can trust him to reveal a new truth to us. So that's the reason, but not just anybody, but somebody that's developed that facility. The only instance that may not follow that pattern is the Sinai instance, the Sinai experience. And that was a unique, unusual experience. Never happened before, never happened after. And it is an entire nation was given an experience of God. They were all woke up the next morning and said, God speak to you like he spoke to me? Yeah, oh yeah, we all had that experience. And then they wrote it down in a book, and they gave that book over to their children and their children's children. And that's our history, that our parents didn't lie to us. They all had this experience, and they all gave us over this heritage in unison. No one else has that story. If it never happened and we made it up, then everybody else would have made it up, because it's the best story to make up if you're going to make up a story to prove your point that we all had this experience, And that's why you should follow what we're saying. But you can't make up a story like that because, like I said, you wake up the next morning and you're going to say, did you have the experience that I had? And the other guy's going to say, well, no, I didn't have that experience. Or somebody's going to say, no, I didn't have that experience. There's going to be other versions. And you're not going to be able to create this national reality unless it really happened. People do not pass on falsehoods to their children, certainly not in groups. There are other stories where many people saw miracles, etc., or witnessed something. That can happen. And we have it to this day. We have groups that see UFOs or whatnot. I don't mean to put them in the same category. I'm just saying that people can have experience, and then you've got to decide whether you're going to accept their version of it. But here, to have with 600,000 men between the ages of 20 and 60, and then plus their women, which would be at least the similar amount, and then their children and their seniors, you're looking at 2-3 million people that all reported they had the same experience. So that is an unusual thing. So normally God is invisible. He gave a special experience to the people at that time because he wanted to establish a special story to carry on with that. And after that, it shouldn't be necessary anymore. In fact, we have a story that at Sinai, God took the mountain of Sinai and held it over the people and said, if you'll accept my instructions, the Torah, then fine. Otherwise, I'll just drop the mountain on you and this will be your grave. And the way I understand that story is they didn't really pick up a mountain. The point was that the experience of God was so powerful, so revelatory, that undeniable, that it's like being forced to make choices. You like when you see the pothole in front of your car, you got to stop because there's no other choice. You know you're going to kill yourself if you go and drive over that line. That's not a choice. That was a reality. So that's what's meant there is God removed the choice for a moment, that they had no choice but to acknowledge that there is a God in their lives. And then after that, he removed himself. There was still a powerful influence, but now you start to have choices again. And they made choices. They complained, and all through the wilderness story, etc., they complained about many things because they had the choice again. But at Sinai, there was no choice. The experience was too overwhelming to deny it. It's an important story. Now, having established that, we have to discover what is it that God wants from us today, all through history. What is it that he wants from us? Well, that's next.